Welcome to ATI Pro Media. It's Wednesday, March 5th, and it's the same old song and dance, it feels like. Headline risk, right? I think that might be the theme of the show. Yesterday, we talked all about tariffs were going to affect all systems go. Retaliatory tariffs from Canada, from China, maybe from Mexico, not yet. Today, the rumor is, tariffs, we might be in agreement, not with China necessarily, with Canada and Mexico. We saw corn rally. As it opened, we faded. We've got corn negative right now, but who knows, right? It's only 9 o'clock. We're live, so by the time this show ends, it could be completely different. Who knows? I'll have my phone ready in case we get some type of notification on tariff. But with that, I think we need to look at the price action, especially on this corn market, right? Just see. Maybe we don't want to. Feel free to turn it off when we pull that chart up, but. And then other than that, we got to look fund position, right? Funds are selling corn. We can see it. It's getting close to record amount of liquidation come week on week. So with that, as always, drop a question, drop a comment. We'd love to hear it, love to answer it. So Brady, do we want to quote up the markets real quick?
I don't know that anybody wants to today, but what the heck? Let's go there anyway.
Let's do it.
Look at May corn down 2 cents, 449.5. Looking over your May beans, down half a penny, 998.5 on May beans. Soy oil down 57 points. Soy meal up 330. We got some green on the screen, 296.80 on May soy meal. Wheat, a little firmer, a little higher. We'll take it. May wheat, Chicago up 5 cents, 541 and 3/4. Over at your KC May wheat up 2 1/4, 550 and 3/4. July KC wheat up 2 1/4 as well, 565.5, well below that 6 handle. Looking over at your meats, the feeder cattle, we got April feeders up $1.50 at 274. April fats up 275 at 194.95. Deferred contracts a little bit firmer than the front on your live cattle. Looking over at lean hogs, up 87 points on April. May's up $1.10 on lean hog market. Crude's down $2. Whoa. Diesel's down 6 cents. Nat gas up a penny. Your Dow up 174 points. The S&P up 12, and the Nasdaq up 28. So kind of run down to your markets there. Bitcoin's a little firmer too, up 2,000 points on Bitcoin, 89,000 on Bitcoin. Russell's up, gold's up, silver's up. U.S. dollar's down. That's a big story. U.S. dollar is actually down significantly. We need to throw that chart up too.
We should look. I was just going to say that we should look at that, but yeah. Well, we had Trump speak last night. I didn't listen to it, but maybe he said something positive about Bitcoin, right? That feels like Bitcoin and Trump, those two are tied together. So we'll see.
Yep.
So
yep.
Okay, well, we talked all about tariffs yesterday. Now, late yesterday, we saw, I don't know if it's a rumor, but we saw U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said President Trump might consider giving Canada and Mexico some reliefs on tariffs. And so I believe President Trudeau, or Prime Minister Trudeau, sorry, President Trump are set to meet. I think they're supposed to have a talk today. So, could we see tariffs with Canada and Mexico come off as early? Did we have tariffs on for under 48 hours? I don't know. Right, we didn't know yesterday. We still don't know today, but that's the rumor, and I think that's what kind of fueled that overnight rally in corn market. It's already kind of disappeared. We definitely faded on the open, but yeah,
yeah. Giving some back here, we were hoping for a little bigger bounce today off of that news, but I guess the trade wants to see it before they believe it. When we if we're going to trade that headline, so yeah, good to hear. Yesterday creates a little optimism. Everybody's hunting to catch the fallen knife here too, though. That's you have a sell off like this, significant market pullback. We just want to go out there and buy the dip or catch the everything's on sale, and maybe corn is on sale. Maybe it's getting too cheap. I don't know. If we kill demand, though, I don't know if it's cheap enough quite yet.
Yeah, it's like do we want to bury or do we want to catch the falling knife? Or the other marketing strategy is let's just bury our head in the sand, right? Cover our eyes, and we'll hope come May, July. Turn off ATI Pro Media. We're not going to do it. But here, that's the thing is when we look at these headline risk, this type of volatility, right? No one likes volatility to the downside, least of all me. But that's the thing is when we talk about risk management is you got to be ready. Is volatility your friend? Or do you hate it? And if we're doing the right things, we can end up loving volatility. But and we're seeing it right now.
Yeah, well said, Connor. That's an important message, I think. And we see it time and time again, year after year, I mean, the markets move and we act like, it's all unexpected all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. Oh man, nobody saw that coming. The market was going to sell. And oftentimes we don't know when it's going to happen. But when it rolls over and heads south, we all kind of act surprised. And hopefully you got some stuff on. Hopefully you're in a good spot. And if you are, look at protecting equity there. I mean, this is where that volatility, that movement, if you got positions that are in the money, you need to go look at how do I protect that value of my position. Well, and that doesn't mean go uncovered. It just means, hey, what are things we can do here to protect that equity?
Yep, and just managing emotions. I saw a great thing. If you're on Twitter, a must follow is Grain Stats, and he does where it's producer sentiment, right? Are we bullish or are we bearish? And the most bullish that whoever I don't know if it's his customers or what do it. The most bullish was literally at the high in February. And so, right, when emotions come, when markets are rallying, it feels like they're never going to stop rallying. And when we're down in the dumps, it feels like we're never going to break. But that's the thing, right? The market's not a team player, right? It doesn't let you know before it's going to break. It doesn't let you know before the rally happens. And so I think that's always key.
Right. Yep. Yep. So let's put a floor on the bad times. Let's put let's embrace the good times and I'm all for having fun, hitting triples. But let's make sure when we're at the plate, we're not striking out too often.
Absolutely. So the other thing I had is that Joe mentioned it before we jumped on, is just looking at the fund positions, right? And that the funds are selling corn, right? We knew that. We saw the COT report last week, but I saw a stat where it was, week on week long liquidation is getting close to 90,000 contracts, right? That I don't know what the record is, but it said it was a near term, or it's getting really close to a record high liquidation week on week. And so 90,000 contracts, they are selling this. I think that puts them still around 300,000 long. If it gives you an idea that they've still got room to sell. They still have a net long position. They've reduced it, but that when we talk fund position, it's always going to fuel. If we get that bearish news and the funds are very long, right? That's the fear we see, is that they can drive it a little bit lower than maybe if they had more of a neutral position on. But getting close to a record high liquidation. It'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see the next COT report where they're at.
Yeah, certainly feels, getting the RSI's dipping lower feels like it's getting, it's a pretty dynamic move, but market's going to bounce. It's just a matter of, will it bounce and then continue the trend lower, that type of stuff. Lots of questions out there, more questions than answers. And eyes are going to be on South America's crop too. Trade policy is one piece of the puzzle. That South America crop, Safrinha crop, that's a big piece of the puzzle going forward too. And we'll see how it all shakes out.
And before we know it, we're going to be talking. I mean, we already started, but we're going to be playing. Right? I saw on Twitter a guy in North Central Illinois was putting beans in the ground. February 28th.
No way! You kidding me?
Jeremy, our coworker, sent it.
Wow.
I'll pull it up. So, and then you got your Texas guys right there already planting, and it'll be here before we know it. The agronomists say March beans perform well. If we get the right weather, we're going to see planting start late March. Absolutely. And so it's going to be the talk, right? Right now, the theme is, how many corn acres are we going to get? Is 95 million acres of corn in the realm of possibility, right? The Ag Outlook Forum said what, Brady? 94 and a half?
94. Yeah.
94. And that's a big number. And so, all this price action with corn dropping 60 cents, I don't know if we're looking at less corn acres right now, right? It's impossible to predict. It's impossible to see just where, it'll be that intentions or prospective plantings report from the USDA at the end of March, and that that could be a wild card, but that's going to be a huge factor going forward, right? 95 at these prices with a even remotely long fund position, 95 million acres with some good weather. That's not a recipe for higher corn price.
Right. Exactly. Yep. So I'd be very curious, out there, listeners out there, if you're watching right now, how much variability is there in your planting decisions over the next, 30, 60 days? Are you going to make changes to what you plant on the fly here? What percentage of your farm, your acreage, are those pivot acres that could go beans, could go corn, or could go some other, maybe it's a specialty crop that's going to go corn instead, or go to a specialty crop? But I'd be very curious. If you're out there, leave us a comment, post something, tell us what you're
Yeah.
planting, more corn, less corn. Very curious to know. And how many acres out there are on that pivotal hot seeder still yet to be decided?
Right. Right. When we're talking about flipping acres and I talk to a Central Illinois farmer, they're like, well, I'm not flipping acres. Okay. You've been 50-50 for, 35 years. We're not talking about you. Think of that guy in Western Nebraska, right? Where he's
Right.
considering, what to do. So
The French
yeah,
acres for sure.
that backyard itis, right? We're
Yep.
talking about emotions, volatility, all this, that backyard itis could kill us too.
Definitely. Yeah.
So-
Well, keep your head on a swivel here. Before we jump to some charts, Connor, I want to throw this up. This is a look at that. We talked volatility. This is corn CVol, the history, and we've seen over the last month here really climbing up on the volatility factor in your corn. That makes options a little more expensive, but this goes back to 23. This is just a testament to the markets moving and some volatility getting priced into the market out there. Good to look at occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to pull up this Fed Bean tweet now.
Okay. You go dig for that. I'm going to go ahead.
I was going to say, do we want to look at, you want to pull up a corn chart?
Okay. I'm going to do the dollar first because that's loaded up. This is the US dollar index and on a monthly time frame. We're going back to long-term chart. It's been rising since 2008, 2009, trending up. US dollar index, a basket of the dollar versus a basket of currencies. Month price action down significantly. 3 months ago, we were knocking on this 110 door on the US dollar index, and now we're down here at 104. So been in this range. We're kind of in the middle of the 2-year range here. Questions going forward, rate policy, all that type of decisions going to impact where the US dollar falls against key currencies. Heavily weighted against the euro, though. The dollar index is. You got to look at the dollar index versus more than just the dollar index. Go look at it versus the euro. Go look at it against the Brazilian real, Mexican peso, and then make some decisions on things. But that's today's price action. Last 3 days, big sell off there, liquidation. Yeah. Corn chart. Let's jump over to that one. What corn chart you want? Front month May here?
Yeah, let's do front month.
Okay.
Ugly. Woo! Ugly. So on May corn, was it Monday we broke through? Is that the red line 200 day?
200 day. Yep. 200 day moving average is the red line there. Broke through that 2 days ago. Trading on both sides of it today. Can't be great to have a close above it.
Yeah.
Need a close above it.
Man, when I look at that chart, it's the definition of elevator upstairs, step down. Holy crap. So we're officially, and we have been since Monday, we're below that Jan 6th, that surprise, that kind of bullish rally, right? We've dipped below that. I think we're getting back to low, prices we saw mid-December.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, not quite to your August lows, on the May contract, those August lows there at, what is that, 414 on your May contract. So we're still elevated above that low. But this 425, there's some other lows to take out there. But when you look at the chart and the candlesticks, it's been a steady pattern of lower lows, lower highs, and lower closes. Today's the outlier, though. We did pop up above yesterday's high over in the overnight session, which is great to see. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. It feels like when let's go back to January 6th. We got the balance sheet changed very quickly. We were in that a little bit of a weather scare in South America, right? Are they going to get the corn crop planted in time? What's the soybean crop look like, right? We knew it was going to be a record, but estimates were coming in really high. The USDA and CONAB didn't raise it. And then the past 2 weeks, it's the opposite, right? The bearish cards were just laid down. We got tariffs. South American crop looks pretty good. 94 million acres of corn. It's just one after the other, and that's what we've seen the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, the tide turns. I go back to, if you want to sell the top, you want to sell the high values of markets, you got to be a bear when everybody else is a bull. And that's very true for what we've seen over the last 30 days, 60 days here is if you were bullish when everybody else was and getting bearish when everybody else is, you're just kind of following the trend here. So kind of got to be a contrarian a little bit when the market's rallying higher. Got to manage risk accordingly. Jan 10th, Connor B, not Jan 6th.
Oh, Dang it.
That's the report. Jan 6 was some other deal. I don't remember exactly what was going on.
Yeah, something else is going on.
All right. Hey,
Oh,
I
man.
got speaking of volatility and stuff too, Dees corn, new crop corn.
Yep.
Get this Fibonacci deal out of there. But Dees corn, since the first of the year, I think we've had a 40-cent trading range in new crop corn. That's a couple months, that's significant. It matters. But looking back at history, the last 5 years, I think we've averaged, at least a buck and a half, maybe $2 type of range on new crop corn trading in a calendar year from Jan 1 to expiration that November. So 40 cents, it's a drop in the bucket across the whole year, but it's a big swing on profitability out there. And that goes back to me is, we're managing, dollars, not dimes here in these markets. Make sure you're managing the dollars.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. For 40 cents, it feels like a big, it feels like a big move when you look at it, but you're right. History tells us we're going to move a heck of a lot more from the high to the low. And so you got to keep that in mind, right? That term range bound, I know we can look at certain periods and say, yeah, this market's range bound for now. But in the grand scheme of things, to me, range bound is a lie, right? Look at that chart. What's range bound about looking at that when we look at the past year?
Yeah, 480 down here to 430, 50-cent range. So, and then, it was tight there for a stretch, but then, you go back to some of, I had some guys with some orders fill here at this 499, 498 area back in May. That was, wish we had more of that out there on the books. Can't ever have enough of that.
No.
Hunter B, when I look at this chart too, another thing that stands out is that RSI we're getting oversold. And you'll hear chatter, everybody's picking bottoms, picking,
Oh, yeah.
that type of stuff. And RSI, we're getting to an oversold level. And we're below the 30 level in RSI. But go back to this swing. RSI got to oversold here in June, bounced back. Then we continued to sell off and slide. RSI oversold, stuck in the oversold there for a week's time frame and just continuing to grind lower. So it can get entrenched or ingrained down here in this oversold area, and you can see 20, 30, 40 cents more of a sell-off while it's oversold. So be cautious of any technical indicator, chartist. Remember, they're always looking at past. None of it looks forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I found the Fed Bean tweet.
Okay, flash it up.
There we go.
Right.
Sneak in some February beans again. 5th year doing it. Very dry. I think he's around Bloomington.
His neighbors have to be pissed, don't they?
I don't know. But yeah, Jacob Wade. If anyone make sure I give him a shout out. But
you go, Jacob.
so
I love it. I want to follow this field. I want like monthly updates. We get into the growing season. I want to see where this is at. Jacob, keep us posted. Let's make that thing go viral and get some an annual. I want to see the results. Let's see what happens here.
I think he'll share it. I didn't look that fast, but yeah. So amazing. But,
okay, wheat. I got to pull up a wheat chart here too. July KC wheat dollar range, 98-cent range since the first of the year. Connor B, 98-cent range.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that from the first of the year.
Yeah, 555 is the low, 555 and 3/4 that area, and then went up to 653 on your July new crop KC wheat contract. And boy, we officially gave it all back with this sell off.
Here, Paul. I don't think it's. You want me to pop it up?
Oh yeah. Sorry, man. I'm talking to myself here with the graphic.
I think
there we go. Okay, now you can see 555 here, first of the year, 653, giving it all back. This is a July new crop KC wheat contract. So, got to make sure that thing's on the screen when I'm talking about it.
And man, if you want a testament to volatility can be your friend or it can be your enemy, just look at KC wheat. Look at any of the wheat charts.
Rick's down there yelling at us about a heating oil deal. Let's throw that up real quick. Look at heating oil. Okay, yeah, below the 200. Been some crazy opportunities out there on the lows here. Maybe if you're out there needing some, keep an eye on that if you want to go book some of your diesel needs here going forward. Interesting. I like looking at heating oil on a longer time frame continuation chart. Yeah, let's see. Weekly. Yeah, interesting. Nothing to write about there though. Pay attention to your cash diesel stuff.
All right. Hey, we got some good comments going in. I'm going to start.
Okay. Filtering through.
Let's do cat. I'll pop them up. Let's do. What does killer cow and bull market look like going in the spring?
That's. I feel like the lean market is one of those that is supportive right now and still pretty strong. Hamburger is a state with all the protein prices where they're at. think that provides a nice support for the lean market. And I don't know if we're rebuilding the cow herd, so limited amount. I think the cow herd's pretty young, Cody, and there might be limited availability of those cull or kill cows out there that could support the lean market. But you got to watch out, when does the consumer change habits? If chicken, some of those markets fall out of bed and there's other cheaper proteins, they may pass up on expensive hamburger and start to change habits. But at this point, it looks to be pretty resilient right now, Cody.
Not sure. Here we go. We got a few acreage comments. Buckeye
Okay.
Farm Boy keeping corn bean acres the same, no change.
Nice, Buckeye. That kind of goes up to
Good.
our point. Not a whole lot of pivot acres there for. I assume he's in Ohio.
I think so. If you're oh man, yeah.
Not a Nebraska boy.
Luke's had mixed results with early beans, favoring lower yields than higher over the past 3 years versus on-time planted beans. Oh, we opened up a can of worms here, Brady.
Oh no, yeah.
And then Russ says, biggest difference I've heard is a lot of producers decided to plant conventional corn to decrease input costs this year. Here in Southeast Iowa, Wiffles has an impressive lineup. Give Russ a call.
Little plug there.
I like it. I like
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
You're
I mean, I feel like that's the thing. And that's what everyone's saying. The corn bean ratio favors more corn acres. The economics favor more corn acres. What does the U.S. farmer like to plant? It's corn acres. But, time will tell, right? It's got to be a different decision, especially when corn's dropped. What was it on new crop? 40 cents?
Yeah, 40 cents range there. So, and very near the lows of that. So, but I like his comment about conventional corn as well. And I've heard some other chatter about that using, less traits out there. So that goes to our trend yield comment though, Connor, because we know all those traits have yield drag, and putting those conventional hybrids out there, we're going to pump that trend line up because we don't got the yield drag out there. Right, Nathan?
Yeah. Okay, last one. Beck's published research where they planted beans in November and December last year. Testing seed treatments yielded 70 and 100 bushel. Fall planted beans may be the future. You're behind that. If you're planting beans in February, guess what? You're messing around. What are you doing? Get to work. We're talking fall planted beans. I need to look that up. I don't know anything about the Novin. Did they do that in the Midwest or?
That's very interesting. That's funny.
Oh man, good stuff.
I think you might be able to get away with that in South Texas or something, but Kansas, Nebraska, Dakotas, I don't know. I have a hard time envisioning them making it through the snowpack.
Could you imagine? Let's just say, yes, fall planted beans are the future, right? We harvest it, we got our beans in the ground, we're gonna wait. So then we can go after it, high speed planters, and plant nothing but your corn acres in spring. Planting delays are out the window. Don't even talk. If you say the word planting delays, I'm just going to ignore you because it's non-existent. Oh man, well, good stuff. Thanks everyone for the comments.
Appreciate the crowd and the engagement and all the comments here. I got one kind of feel good headline on cattle stuff before we roll out of here, Connor.
Yeah.
I was cruising around the internet and I saw that some senators introduced a bill looking at local meat expansion capacity out there. So kind of an interesting bill. Ben Ray from New Mexico and Joni Erst from Iowa proposed a bipartisan bill that looks to remove regulations that restrict the increase of meat processing capacity and allow livestock auctions to invest in small and regional packing facilities. The Expanding Local Meat Processing Act. It received some report from Missouri Senator, California Senator, and South Dakota as well. I guess House reps, but the House that's in the, I don't know. House bill is called the Amplifying Processing of Livestock in the United States Act. But if this will amend the Packers and Stockyards Act and allow livestock auctions to be owners and have some ownership and financial investment into local packing plants. I think there's a cap on the size of kills a day, but very interesting headline out there.
Yeah,
good headline. Everybody'd love more local places to pack beef and get some local meat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, good stuff.
Had to end with that one. Oh
yeah.
While we got people on too, Connor, I'm gonna do a little.
That's Friday
too. Can I do self promo? Okay, bull sale next Friday, March 14th. Huck Stegman Angus bull sale. If you're interested, our catalog's up on DV Auction, and we got videos and stuff. Got some great bulls lined up this year. If you're interested, Grandpa, Dad, the Stegman family, we're all involved in it. A lot of hard work goes into raising these bulls, and they work harder than me at it too. I love the cows, but they work harder than me. We were fertility testing. Pull Connor in here. I got a fun story for you. We were fertility testing bulls 2 weeks ago, and they were pretty loose. It was after the cold snap, Connor, and fertility testing bulls. I stick my head in the chute, and I'm on the back end of the bull most of the time. I'm not high enough pay grade to work on the front end of the bull.
Yep.
So working in the chute, okay, I got to measure their scrotal circumference for a breeding soundness deal. We're fertility testing, collecting a sample, seeing what motility they got. But you got to stick your head in there to get between the legs, and they were pretty loose and just poor timing. I went in there, pushed the wrong button on the bull, and I got dumped right on the top of the head, dripping down my face with molassesy cow crap. Not a fun experience. It took 2 towels. It was a 2 towel.
I was gonna say, were you wearing that hat and you just cleaned it up?
No, different hat. Ruined hat. No more. But I don't know. Maybe it'll help. It's a little
hazard.
fertilizer. Help my hair grow a little bit. Be a little root treatment, deep root treatment down there.
Oh man.
Always
So
a fun cattle story.
with that, if you're trying to lowball him Friday, remember that story, right? He earned it.
Definitely. All right. Thanks,
Oh, good
Let's
stuff.
get out of here.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. We'll see what tomorrow brings.